I don't think keto is a great long-term state for humans. It's stressful, especially for women, but also for men. We know that it elevates stress hormone.
I just got sent another video by Paul Saladino saying that keto is not good for you. And trust me, Steph's got some words about it, so let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my very humble life. I used to say channel, but people got triggered. It's definitely a humbling life. I haven't had air conditioning in a week, and it's been in the late 90s. But I digress. Let's get right on into this subject of, is keto good for cancer? Is keto bad for you? I mean, is doing meat with fruit good for you? Let's get into it. Someone actually sent me a video of Paul Saladino. Paul, I got nothing against you. I really, really don't. But the garbage that he is saying in this video is just absurd. And I literally have nothing against the guy. It's not a personal attack, but what he's saying is ridiculous. So let's take a look at this video where Paul is rambling about, somebody's talking about keto. A guy, I don't know, he's probably got some big podcast. And he's interviewing Paul, and Paul starts to give his opinions on ketogenic diet. Now, mind you, Paul is 10 years younger than Miss Stephanie. Let's keep that in mind. And I've done keto for 17 years straight. 17 years. And well, Paul, I don't know what he's done. He's flip-flopped around from one diet to the next, making books on carnivore and talking about great meat-based diets are, and driving ketosis. And now he is, well, let's take a look.
I can show you pictures of myself when I'm on keto. I look like a different human being.
Really? I don't think keto is a great long-term state for humans. It's stressful, especially for women, but also for men. We know that it elevates stress hormone.
And so it stresses you out?
Okay. First of all, Paul, you have aged 10 years in a couple years. And I'm not even trying to be a jerk. I know I sound jerk-ish, but we need to keep it real because the camera ain't lying. Paul has aged exponentially on this diet. You can see it in his face. We are supposed to be able to handle the sun without getting that wrinkly. Okay? The more sun you get, the more your skin is absorbing vitamin D to protect the skin. So help me understand how fruit and adding all this fruit and all this sugar into your diet has not made you age, or has it made you age? Because with my eyes, it looks like Paul has aged exponentially. He's talking about how keto is stressful to the body, but he doesn't explain how. Now, mind you, these are all opinions. These aren't facts. And I will give him this. He's saying opinions. He's not stating a single fact.
It doesn't necessarily stress you in your brain, but your body is always doing these processes called gluconeogenesis, where you have to create your own glucose. There are indicators that that is a stressful process.
First of all, dude, my brother, look, Paul. Why is he red around the eyes? Why is he so wrinkly around his eyes? Help me understand. I think this is the reason why I get on gurus, and I'm going off topic because he just talks about gluconeogenesis. But it just annoys the frack out of me that you see he's aging exponentially. He's 10 years younger. 10 years younger. And he's talking about, and he's Italian. So people are like, oh my God, but you're black. No. Black does crack, and it sags, and collagen goes away and gets ill and bloated and puffy and all this. This is a guy who is he doesn't look, and like I said, Paul, no disrespect. I got nothing against you as a person, but you do not look healthy. You do not look healthy. Paul looks like he's going through gluconeogenesis, extreme gluconeogenesis in his face. And I've done keto for a long time, and it's been very amazing to my body, except for the electrolyte issue, which you just have to be on. That's it. The benefits outweigh the risks times a billion, especially if it's done correctly. Let's listen to this gluconeogenesis argument some more.
It's sort of a fallback process for humans. It's essentially a starvation state.
Is this why they do this for?
Keto's a starvation state? What does that mean? He looks like a Italian Greek god from the 12th century. A starvation state. What do you mean starvation state? What does that mean?
For people that are on cancer?
The cancer thing with keto is interesting. I think that the data is not fully there right now.
Oh God, he looks so aged. The cancer information, I think, is not really there. This is a doctor. And Paul is smart. It doesn't mean everybody's got common sense, but he is an intelligent man. But listen to what he's saying. It's very biased. He's struggling with his, look at him, he's aging. He's struggling with his, I don't know, diet. I mean, Paul puts out some good information about like, don't eat this, it's got garbage in it, and don't eat that product. And, you know, not everything he says is just ridiculous, but this time it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's not fully understood that keto is the best thing for everyone with cancer. I don't think the idea that carbohydrates cause cancer is fully.
You don't think that it's best for cancer keto? You don't think that carbohydrates is bad? What are you talking about, bro? I'm not a big study person, so I'm not going to quote studies. In fact, I cannot stand studies. But my mother, who had or still has, a glioblastoma in her brain. It's frozen in time, okay? It's frozen. I put my mother on a ketogenic diet, and this very aggressive cancer, calm down, calm down, stopped growing. What are you talking about, bro? And what happened before? When my mom, right before she was diagnosed, sugar, fruit, and meat is what she ate. That's what my mother ate. Carbs are carbs are carbs. Bread turns into glucose. Fructose ultimately is going to raise your blood sugar levels. All of it's sugar in your blood. Make it make sense. He's trying to say that he doesn't believe at this juncture that necessarily carbs are bad for cancer. Yet cancer was growing rapidly when my mom ate what he is eating now. And when my mom went on a ketogenic diet, the cancer stopped growing. Make it make sense.
Fleshed out in the medical literature. And the word carb or carbohydrate is something that's very confusing too.
Look how much he's aged. And I'm only pointing it out because he's a health guru. He's a health doctor. And he's aged so much. Sunday, I'm in the sun all day, every day. All day, every day. All day, every day. And this is an Italian guy. And I'm a light-skinned black girl when I'm not in the sun all day, every day. Don't blame my color. We need to go deeper when it comes to the fasting and the dietary measures. And who knows what Paul is suffering from that he doesn't discuss. But I can see in his face that he's aging.
Right? Because there's a lot of nuance there. Like, what's a carb? What's a carbohydrate?
Let's listen again. It's only 44 seconds.
I can show you pictures of myself when I'm on keto. I look like a different human being.
Really? I don't think keto is a great long-term state.
Okay, this guy's saying that he looks like a different human being on keto. I want to see the original, because somebody sent me this. I'd love to see the original podcast.
For humans, it's stressful, especially for women, but also for men. We know that it elevates.
Especially for men, women, and also men. Wait, especially for women? Keto, if you've watched the catalog of my videos, keto, carnivore, doesn't matter. You drop out your carbohydrates on any diet and you're not glucose dependent, you can have problems if you don't get into ketosis. This whole meat and fruit garbage that he came up with. No, somebody else came up with it and he ran with it. I'm sorry. I have so many clients who've tried this and are having huge, massive issues with candida overgrowth, hypoglycemia, thyroid issues, because they can't get into ketosis with the fruit and you can't store enough glycogen with the fruit. So people just start tanking on fruit and then gaining weight. See, because that fructose is going to go in the liver as triglycerides. It's going to stay in there, right? I had one client develop fatty liver from eating too much fruit, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I mean, this is cuckoo to add fruit because he thinks that fruit has less histamine than vegetables or less anti-nutrients. Yet there are so many people I know that are having histamine responses to adding all the fruit. And then there's candida. And then you can have the cross of fruit and then the histamine reaction, have an explosion of rashes and itching and psoriasis and eczema and, itchiness in the bung and then the vajay and all kind of stuff from eating the fruit, especially fruit. Fruit makes candida grow like bazonkers.
It's stress hormone.
And so it stresses you out?
It doesn't necessarily stress you in your brain, but your body is always doing these processes called gluconeogenesis where you have to create your own glucose. There are indicators.
That's what ketosis is, Paul. That you're not going into gluconeogenesis all the time when your body's running on ketones. We're talking about the ketogenic diet. We're not talking about fasting or starving yourself or even this gluconeogenesis with the meat and fruit that he's talking about. It's like full projection. He's not making any sense at all.
That is a stressful process. It's sort of a fallback process for humans. It's essentially a starvation state.
Is this why they do this for people that are on cancer?
The cancer thing with keto is interesting. I think that the data.
It's like, is that why they do this? He's like, is that why people put people on ketogenic diets to cure themselves from cancer because it makes them go into gluconeogenesis? Like, the guy's kind of playing with Paul. Paul doesn't even see it.
It is not fully there right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's not fully understood that keto is the best thing for everyone with cancer. I think
he's confused. Not the diet. I think he is.
The idea that carbohydrates cause cancer is fully fleshed out in the medical literature. And the word carb or carbohydrate.
That's all you got is medical literature. I can't stand when people just constantly use studies that are subjective and funded by the wrong type of funding organizations. Just look at people. Talk to Paul. Talk to some real people. Some real ass people. Don't go by your studies.
It is something that's very confusing too, right? Because there's a lot of nuance there. Like, what's a carb? What's a carbohydrate?
Yeah, it's not the whole interview. So to his, benefit, or not benefit, to his whatever viewing of him in a different light, I mean, it's not the full thing. Somebody just sent me a chunk of this 44 seconds. What does the whole thing look like? But where's he sitting? This way? No, this way. Paul, 46, Stephanie at 56, going on 57. Yeah, if I was gluconeogenic out, I would be gaunt in the face. Everything would sag. I would be aged to the freaking 9. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Hormones still working. Hormones great. Keto, 17 years, bro. Okay? And I didn't have to add no fruit. I have to be careful for stress, but not a keto stress, life stress, because I've cleaned up my diet and my electrolytes and making sure I always have water or the diet doesn't work. All right, comment below. What are your thoughts? Yeah. And every once in a while, I will do a call out video because I get a lot of people who are getting injured from sort of misleading advice or that doesn't make any sense. And I'm out. Energy at 56, soon 57. And in 3 years, I'm going to be 60. Yeah, gluconeogenesis ain't doing nothing to Stephanie. Woo, she still got it. People who are going through gluconeogenesis are going to look very gaunt. Oops, i.e., they're going to look very, very paper thin in the skin and starting to age rapidly. Maybe it's just projection. Maybe he's going through gluconeogenesis. And I have no hate for Paul whatsoever. Like none at all. I don't know him. I got nothing bad to say about him as a person when he's alone, on his own, being his own person off social media. And I think he does put out some great information. Calls out a lot of garbage out there in the supermarkets. But on the subject of keto, I'm sorry. This one's not going to pass Steph's reality. No. And I'm out. Oh, yes. If you guys need a consultation, go to stephanieperson.com, where I won't put you on fruit unless it's low glycemic fruit like olives, avocados, monounsaturated fats. Or you can go to my Instagram at Stephanie Ketogenic, my Facebook fan page, which is Stephanie the Business Person. Yes. And I'm out. Peace.